We've been talking about the concept of a guaranteed basic income for a long time, and we actually have a really great interview about the basic income idea coming up really soon. And we've talked about one of the main advantages of a basic income being that you can replace welfare plans at a far lower cost. If you give everybody $500 a month without preconditions, without having to verify income or verify any other aspect of that person's life that would qualify for them for that $500, it is way cheaper than giving $500 a month if someone goes through an application process involving a bunch of staff approvals and so on and so forth. So the idea is you eliminate all of these welfare programs and replace them with a basic income at a far lower administrative cost. We are going to see whether this works. Finland's government is finalizing plans to give every citizen a basic income of 800 euros per month. This is at current exchange rates about $870 per month. And they would completely eliminate welfare benefits. Almost 70% of Finnish citizens support this idea, according to a poll conducted by the Finnish Social Insurance Institute. The Prime Minister, Juha Sipilä, was quoted as saying, "For me, a basic income means simplifying the social security system. This would be 800 euro tax-free per month. The total cost would be 52.2 billion euro per year." We won't get a final decision on this, Lewis, for about a year, but we are seeing this rapidly move ahead. The Netherlands has already been trialing a similar proposal, with Utrecht set to undergo a pilot project next year. And we spoke yesterday with Richard Wolff, the economist, about this. Maybe a basic income is in the future for many societies. And I think that, a basic income alone won't necessarily, it certainly won't solve all of a modern economy's problems. But you could see this start to go in the direction of decoupling the 40-hour work week as a sort of box that needs to be checked merely to survive and to be able to pay for your basic necessities. And I am fascinated to see what ultimately happens in Finland. We've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah, I think it is a good idea. Finland is a place where their tax system allows for this type of program to happen.
Yeah.
And it seems that they don't have the problems we have here with the loopholes and people and businesses essentially paying no taxes and things like that. So
Sure.
I think it can and probably will work in a country like that. But there are a lot of things we would need to get in order here in order to implement something like this.
You would need to really dig into the sort of semi-monopolistic industries that exist, because if everybody has an extra $870 a month, you could definitely see collusion to increase the cost of sort of life's basic necessities in parallel with everybody having an additional $870 per month. So if we were able to get some other things in order, as Lewis says, this really could go a long way to helping the working poor. And that's the issue. People that are working full time, sometimes more than one job, and still are poor, according to the federal poverty line. And this relates to a term which you may not have heard called the precarious class. Let's take a look at what that means, Lewis. The precarious class is a social class formed by people suffering from precarity, which is a condition of existence without predictability or security, affecting material or psychological welfare, as well as being a member of a proletariat class of industrial workers who lack their own means of production and hence sell their labor to live. It usually relates to lack of job security, intermittent employment or underemployment, and this is a class that has been ascribed to the entrenchment of neoliberal capitalism. This is essentially what we're talking about, Lewis, right? When we talk about the working poor, we are saying this is not someone who is in abject poverty, but they are in a precarious situation. There's the stability of their job is not what it should be. As a result, they may have food insecurity, they may have transportation insecurity, etc. And that is, I think, where we stand to gain a lot economically, because the multiplier effect of any additional income to people in this precarious class is very likely to be reinserted right into the economy.
Mm-hmm. And then you go from this and you start talking about wage slaves.
Right.
It leads right into that discussion. It is a precarious situation for many Americans, and I think if Dave, if you were to say this to some right winger,
They say that sounds like communism.
they might just shoot you on the spot.